Welcome back to our channel. We invite you to embrace the moment by liking the video, sharing your reflections in the comments, and subscribing to journey with us through our latest stories. It was an ordinary Tuesday afternoon when I first sensed the shift. The sun lingered behind the clouds throughout the day, allowing a gentle, wistful light to filter through my kitchen window while I sat at the table, savoring my coffee. At 46, I believed I had unraveled the mysteries of life, or at least I enjoyed the comfort of that belief. A flourishing career, a cozy sanctuary, a rhythm that offered a feeling of safety. Yet recently everything seemed to carry a hint of emptiness. A gentle knock at the door pulled me from the depths of my daydream, stirring a soft flutter within me. The knock was unlike any other, soft and tentative, as if the person on the other side was uncertain about their presence. I opened the door to discover Sarah, my neighbor, waiting there with a delicate envelope cradled in her hand. "Hey, I realize this might catch you off guard," she said, her voice trembling. "But there's something important I need to share with you." Sarah, in her late 40s just like me, had been my neighbor for around 5 years. We exchanged light-hearted chats over the fence, enjoyed the warmth of coffee together, and occasionally delighted in sharing our favorite recipes. She always seemed like someone who had everything in perfect harmony, exuding grace, assurance, and a gentle warmth in her smile. Her presence was soothing, and the depth in her eyes conveyed a promise that everything would turn out just fine. But that day, she radiated a unique allure. A weighty secret lingered, something she sought to conceal just below the surface. I moved aside to welcome her in, gesturing for her to take a seat at the kitchen table. She paused briefly, her gaze lingering on the envelope in her hand, as if weighing the choice to reveal her thoughts. With a hint of hesitation, she finally spoke, her voice soft and inviting as she slid the envelope toward me, a gesture filled with unspoken trust. I caught a glimpse of it, a simple, unadorned envelope, devoid of any markings or identity. "I find myself at a loss for someone to confide in, and I believe you can relate to this feeling." I gently accepted the envelope from her, a wave of intrigue washing over me. I unveiled it gently, seeking to understand her response. Within lay a delicately folded piece of paper. I opened it gently, my pulse quickening as I absorbed the brief note. "Your assistance is truly needed. Only you can truly grasp what lies beneath the surface. Your significance in my life is beyond what words can express. I kindly ask that you keep this to yourself. I find myself at a loss, unsure of the next step to take." I gazed at Sarah, who sat quietly with her hands delicately folded in her lap, her eyes drifting away from my own. She appeared delicate, exposed in a manner that stirred something deep within me. "Sarah, what is this all about?" I inquired softly, my voice a mere breath, hesitant to disrupt the charged atmosphere that lingered like an impending storm. She inhaled slowly, her fingers quivering as they intertwined gently. "It's a weight I've held close for what feels like an eternity," she started, her voice gentle yet unwavering. "There's a secret I've kept close to my heart, one I've never shared with a soul, not even my husband." The intensity of her gaze held the gravity of her words, hinting at the profound secret she was on the verge of sharing. And yet there was a gentle whisper within me, a soft part that sensed a duty to truly listen, to embrace understanding. "It seems I've been caught in a web of untruths, perhaps you could say. And I find myself questioning how much longer I can maintain this facade of everything being all right. I have faith in you, and there's something important about my history that I want to share with you. It's a secret I've kept hidden, a part of me that remains unknown, even to those who are nearest to my heart." My heart fluttered with anticipation as I awaited her next words. Uncertainty lingered in the air, yet I felt a deep sense of significance in whatever awaited me. A wave of anticipation washed over me, whispering that this moment held the power to transform everything. Our connection, our bond, perhaps even my perception of her true essence. Sarah paused once more, caught in a moment of contemplation, weighing her next words carefully. It was evident that this was a struggle for her. Yet I could sense her unwavering determination. She longed to share her thoughts, to feel the warmth of understanding envelop her. "There was a time when my life was very different. I made choices that shaped who I am today, and some of those choices have stayed with me longer than I expected, profoundly, and one that I believed I had moved on from." She lingered, the significance of her words suspended in the atmosphere. The air was thick with unspoken emotions, a delicate weight she bore. A hidden truth that lingered just beneath the surface, waiting for release. Before everything unfolded, before my family and our lives intertwined as neighbors, I lived a life that felt entirely different. A life shrouded in secrecy, one I wished to keep hidden from the world. But now I can no longer hold it inside. I need you to feel the weight of this, as it has lingered in my heart for years. The impact of her revelation washed over me, enveloping me in a tide of unexpected emotion. Her words hung in the air, a tantalizing mystery waiting to unfold. Yet I sensed the intensity of her feelings, the turmoil she had been enduring. This was more than merely a hidden truth. This journey was filled with years of heartache, longing, and the weight of unexpressed feelings. "I can't quite find the words," she said, her voice trembling as her eyes glistened with unshed tears. "Yet, I implore you to hold back your judgments of me. I have stumbled along the way. We would all embrace it. For so long I've held this secret close, and now I find myself questioning my very identity." The depth of her voice resonated with an unguarded tenderness, stirring a profound sense of empathy within me. This was a profound awakening. It was a revelation of the heart. A moment of revelation that held the potential to transform our understanding of one another completely. As I lingered in that moment, a wave of emotion washed over me, stirring something deep within. The woman seated opposite me was more than merely my neighbor. She was a soul burdened with a history that eluded my understanding. And I felt, deep within, that whatever unfolded next would transform us both for eternity. The silence enveloped us, rich and profound, a comforting weight that lingered, inviting yet untouched. Sarah's words lingered in my thoughts, leaving me at a loss for how to reply. How might I? The depth of her revelation lingered in the air, wrapping around him like a gentle embrace. Her secret was undoubtedly something that had been hidden away for years, and now it lingered between us, delicate and poised, as if it could shatter at any moment. I observed her intently, taking in the delicate effort she made to steady herself, her fingers clutching the chair's edge as if seeking solace in the present moment. I sensed her unease, the delicate tension in the air as she wondered how I would respond. Yet I discovered something more, something that took me by surprise. A gentle resilience, a deep resolve to embrace her history, even if it required walking that path by herself. I adjusted in my seat, acutely aware of her eyes upon me. Thoughts swirled within me, each one a delicate whisper of what her words could mean. She carried with her a history, a tapestry woven with shadows and intricacies that surpassed my wildest dreams. But what could it be? What was this hidden truth that had held her captive in quietude all these years? "Sarah, you need not share everything at this moment," I murmured, my tone tender yet resolute. Yet, I find myself yearning for clarity as I stand just next door. I have always stood by your side, offering my unwavering support without any judgment. Her eyes shimmered with appreciation, yet the weight of unspoken emotions lingered in her posture. She inhaled slowly, and I could sense her drawing upon an inner strength to move forward. "I wasn't always the joyful, ideal partner you see before you," she confessed, her voice quivering once more. "Before I crossed paths with Alex, before our journey brought us to this place, I shared a connection with someone else. A presence that didn't serve my heart well. Someone who, let's just say, didn't honor me in the way I truly deserved." The words resonated deeply within me. A part of me had anticipated something. Yet this experience unfolded into something far deeper than I could have imagined. Her voice carried a deep sorrow, a vulnerability that tugged at my heartstrings. I felt a deep urge to connect, to offer solace. Yet I understood that this was a moment she had to navigate in her own way. "I was young and innocent," Sarah continued, her gaze drifting as if she were revisiting those moments. "I found myself enveloped in the thrill of a connection that ignited a sense of uniqueness within me, awakening my spirit. Yet ultimately it was nothing but an illusion. Looking back, I realize I was in a relationship that wasn't the best for me. I ignored the signs, but now I understand them better." I could see the sorrow in her gaze, the struggle in her voice as she released the words, each one a delicate shard she was hesitantly drawing from her heart. I remained silent, allowing the moment to linger without the need for comforting words. She never sought that kind of attention. She sought a deep connection, yearning for empathy. And I was ready to offer it. Once that chapter closed, I believed I had moved on from it. I believed I could let it slip away from my mind. Yet I chose not to. It lingered in my thoughts. It lingered in my thoughts. And now I understand how deeply it has influenced every aspect of my life. Since that moment, my marriage, my friendships, and even the connection I have with myself. I took a deep breath, feeling my emotions swell within me. It was more than a tale of betrayal or heartbreak. It was a journey of awakening. A woman embracing her essence after enduring profound losses along the path. I grasped that more deeply than I care to acknowledge. I too have navigated my own struggles with identity, caught between the expectations of who I believed I should be and the essence of who I truly am. But Sarah, what is it about this moment that calls to you? What brings you to share this with me now, after all this time? I inquired, my voice laced with a blend of intrigue and tenderness. She paused briefly, her gaze dancing with a hint of doubt. Because, she whispered softly, I can no longer escape it. I've been concealing my true self behind this seemingly flawless existence. This illusion crafted to shield my heart. I find myself at a crossroads, unable to continue down this path. It transcends my own desires now. I have matters that weigh on my heart, things I must address and set in order. And I long for someone who can truly comprehend my feelings. Someone who sees me as whole and deserving of love. Her words pierced through me, reaching the core of my being that understood the weight of a facade, the struggle of concealing turmoil behind a seemingly bright exterior. It transcended mere memories of a past error. It was about the deep impact those years had left on her heart. The heaviness enveloped her, lingering like a storm cloud that stubbornly held its ground, casting a shadow over everything. I don't know what to do, Sarah said, her voice soft and trembling. I've been reflecting a lot on who I am, and what truly brings me happiness. I extended my hand across the table, softly resting it on hers. It was a subtle act, yet in that instant it seemed to hold the weight of the world. You're not alone, Sarah, I said, my voice warm and reassuring. You're not adrift, you've arrived. And that is what truly resonates. Your willingness to share is a beautiful beginning. Your strength runs deeper than you realize. Her gaze met mine, a warmth of gratitude shimmering within, intertwined with a profound sense of relief. As if a gentle burden had been eased, if only slightly. It may not have been the entirety of what I sought, yet it marked the beginning of something beautiful. I'm uncertain about what lies ahead, she confessed. But I've reached a point where I'm prepared to embrace it. I must confront the shadows of my past. I must embrace the choices I've made and seek a path that leads me onward. We lingered in quietude for a while, allowing the unspoken thoughts to weave a delicate connection between us. A gentle change enveloped us, the delicate tension that had lingered for what felt like an eternity beginning to soften, if only slightly. Sarah held no desire for absolution. She sought understanding, not sympathy. She was yearning for understanding, for someone to recognize her beyond the shadows of her past, and to appreciate the strength it required to confront those challenges with grace. I'm here for you, I whispered gently, my voice brimming with heartfelt warmth. In moments when you seek connection, when you long for a gentle ear, know that I will always be here for you. And in that moment, a profound understanding washed over me. This was more than merely Sarah's hidden truth. This was about two women, two souls discovering a profound bond, empathy, and admiration in a world that frequently seemed lonely. It was a journey of uncovering the courage to confront the past, to fully accept your authentic self, and to gently piece together the fragments that linger. The days that followed our conversation unfolded in a haze, a delicate balance of introspective thought and hopeful anticipation. Thoughts of Sarah lingered in my mind more frequently than I was willing to acknowledge. Her confession lingered in my mind, a gentle echo that was difficult to forget. Her vulnerability held a certain grace, a quiet strength in the way she entrusted me with such an intimate piece of her life. It stirred reflections on my own hidden truths, the delicate pieces of myself I had concealed, too hesitant to face. Yet now it seemed to carry a different essence. Sarah's courage offered me a fleeting glimpse into a realm where truth and deep feelings intertwined, if only for a brief moment. We had come to a gentle understanding to embrace each moment as it unfolds. The journey before us promised to be challenging, yet I could feel that Sarah had already chosen her path. She had decided that her past would no longer hold sway over her future. She was poised to emerge from the shadows, prepared to embrace the consequences of her decisions, and above all, she was ready to begin her journey of healing. As the days unfolded, I observed her with a tender gaze. There was a subtle power within her, transformation that eluded my understanding, yet I could sense its presence. She was starting to awaken once more, not as the woman concealed behind a facade, but as someone who was finally embracing her existence with authenticity and grace. One evening, as I sat on my porch cradling a warm cup of tea, Sarah approached, her demeanor noticeably more at ease than it had been in the past. Her smile radiated warmth, yet her eyes, those captivating eyes, whispered a tale of their own. Amidst the lingering uncertainty, a flicker of hope emerged, a softness in her that I had never witnessed before. "Hey," she murmured gently, lingering at the base of my stairs, pausing for a heartbeat before ascending. "Would you mind if I joined you?" I extended my hand in a warm and inviting gesture. "Absolutely." I was simply savoring the stillness. "Join me here." She smiled, her steps imbued with a newfound grace as she ascended the stairs. As she nestled into the chair beside me, a gentle silence enveloped us, her words lingering just out of reach. It felt like she was weaving her thoughts together, searching for the perfect words to express herself. I sensed a weight on her thoughts, something significant lingering beneath the surface. "I've been lost in thought," she started, gazing out at the small yard that lay between our homes. The gentle breeze whispered through the leaves, crafting a soothing melodic symphony. "Concerning all aspects, reflecting on what I've shared with you, the memories we've woven together, and the journey that lies ahead." I lingered, allowing her to guide the rhythm. "I believe it's time for a genuine transformation," she expressed, her voice laced with determination. "I've been sheltered by this barrier, persuading myself that I was unworthy of anything beyond what I possessed. Yet, in this moment I have gained a deeper understanding. I am worthy of joy just as everyone else is. I am worthy of tranquility, and I long to embrace a life free from the shadows of past decisions." Her words enveloped me like a gentle tide, flowing with such depth that I found myself momentarily lost in their embrace. It felt as though I was listening to the deepest whispers of someone's heart, and it filled me with wonder. How is it possible for someone to bear such a weight for so long, yet emerge on the other side with such profound clarity? "I can't quite envision it," she said softly, her eyes drifting toward me. "I wonder if Alex will truly grasp what I feel, or if anyone else can sense it as well. Yet, I find it impossible to continue dwelling in this cocoon of anxiety and regret. It's time for me to release what I've clung to, even if it means stepping away from all I believe to be true." I was proud to see Sarah taking control of her journey and finding herself again. It transcended the opinions of others, existing in a realm untouched by their reactions. It was about what she sought to restore her sense of completeness. "I think I'm going to take a break from everything," she said after a pause, her voice soft and delicate. "Just for a little while. Perhaps we could embark on a journey together. Find peace within my thoughts. Discover the depths of my true desires, beyond the expectations that cloud my mind." Her words carried a sense of freedom intertwined with a touch of melancholy. I sensed that Sarah had been gliding through life on autopilot for far too long, existing in a world that didn't fully belong to her. This journey, whatever it may be, would mark the beginning of unveiling the essence of her being, hidden beneath the shadows of fear and regret. And that was something I cherished profoundly. "Sarah," I spoke softly, "I believe that's a beautiful idea. You are worthy of that moment. It's time for you to rediscover the essence of who you are." Her smile held a delicate charm, yet within her eyes lay a hint of vulnerability, an unvoiced question hanging softly in the air between us. "Do you truly believe I am capable of this?" she inquired, her tone gentle and filled with hesitation. I leaned in, gently resting my hand on hers, anchoring her in the present. "You possess the strength within you, and remember, you are not walking this path by yourself. Whatever you desire, I am here for you." A delicate, wistful smile danced at the edge of her lips. "My heartfelt gratitude to you. Your words hold a depth that resonates with me profoundly." We lingered in quietude for a moment, the gentle evening light enveloping the yard in a tender embrace. The world seemed to pause, enveloping us in a serene embrace, allowing for a moment of deep, quiet contemplation. "Sometimes," Sarah whispered, "I find myself pondering if I've let go of all that I ever desired, But now I'm beginning to feel that I can embrace something more profound, something genuine, something that is truly mine." Her words stirred something profound inside me. Sarah appeared before me in a way I had never witnessed, even during her initial arrival in the neighborhood all those years ago. In her eyes a new light flickered, a fierce resolve not merely to endure, but to truly embrace life. "I'm proud of you," I whispered, a wave of emotion swelling within me. "Your strength runs deeper than you realize." Her smile grew warmer, and in that instant, I sensed she was beginning to embrace it as well. As Sarah rose to depart, she lingered at the threshold, glancing back to meet my gaze. "Thank you for being present," she murmured gently, "and for your unwavering support. I realize I've held back so much from you, yet I find myself unable to bear this weight by myself any longer." "You never have to," I replied, my gaze lingering as she melted into the shadows, the soft embrace of the night enveloping her in a tender shroud. I lingered in that space long after she had departed, lost in thoughts of the journey Sarah had undertaken. The journey before her was fraught with challenges, yet it was a journey she was destined to embrace, and I felt a deep certainty that she was prepared to confront all that lay ahead. The secret she had held close for so long had finally transformed into a gentle release. It was the gateway to revealing the future she longed for. The weeks that followed Sarah's choice to pause were imbued with a subtle, lingering tension. I could feel the shifts within her, even before she had come back from her journey. She reached out often, sharing brief notes every few days to let me know how she was doing. Every message resonated like a gentle triumph, a whisper of empowerment as she embraced the liberation she had long yearned for. One afternoon, a month after she had left, I found myself answering a call from her. When she spoke, her voice carried a unique allure. It resonated with a newfound clarity and purpose that felt profoundly different from anything I had experienced before. "I'm back," she said, her voice calm yet brimming with feeling. "And I believe I've come to understand everything now." I could sense the depth in her words, the intricate layers of thought and feeling she had navigated during her time apart. I sensed she had faced the shadows of her past, the hidden burdens that had held her back from embracing the future. "I've decided to move out," she continued, a gentle laugh dancing in the air. "It's time for me to embrace a new beginning, to cultivate a life that resonates deeply with my essence. I have discovered a place that feels just right. It may be simple, yet it fulfills me in this moment." My heart brimmed with a deep sense of admiration for her. The weight of this decision is palpable, as you turn away from a place that once held a tapestry of memories, woven with threads of joy and sorrow alike. But now she was gracefully entering a future that belonged solely to her. "That's incredible, Sarah," I murmured, my voice trembling with emotion. "Your joy brings me such warmth. I can't imagine my life without you," she whispered, her tone soft yet filled with genuine emotion. "Your presence has illuminated the truth that my past does not define who I am. I am more than the missteps of my past or the identity I once believed I needed to embrace. I am who I am, and that is more than sufficient." Those words, "I'm me and that's enough," lingered in the air like a gentle melody, resonating softly in my thoughts long after our conversation had ended. Sarah had at last discovered her tranquility, her essence of self-acceptance. She had welcomed the essence of her being, liberated from the weight of shame and fear. A few days later, Sarah visited to share her farewell. She lingered before my home, a petite suitcase cradled in her hand, her stance both confident and at ease. The woman who had entered my life all those months ago, weighed down by her hidden truths and past sorrows, had transformed completely. She was a breath of fresh air, a soul who had discovered the courage to release the past and embrace a new beginning. "Thank you," she murmured gently as I opened the door, "for everything. Your presence has been a constant, even in my moments of distance and secrecy, and I recognize the grace you've shown me, despite my shortcomings." I moved closer and wrapped my arms around her, savoring the moment as I felt the gentle warmth of her change envelop us both. I had always sensed there was a depth to Sarah that she kept hidden from the world, and now I was witnessing the transformation she had undergone. A woman who had embraced her freedom and discovered her true self. "I'll miss you, Sarah," I said, my voice heavy with feeling, "but I understand this is the right path for you. Embrace the freedom to shape your existence as you wish." Her smile was soft yet sincere, a glimpse of the woman I had grown to cherish deeply. the woman whose essence captivated me in ways I had only begun to understand. "I'll keep in touch," she said, her eyes glimmering with promise, "and who knows, perhaps our paths will cross again soon, but this time it will be on my terms." Observed her retreating figure, suitcase in hand, moving toward the future she had long evaded. As she faded into the distance, a gentle calm enveloped me, leaving a lingering warmth in my heart. The Sarah I encountered all those months back had transformed, now embodying a version of herself that radiated authenticity, having released the weight of her past and opened her heart to the possibilities that lay ahead. As I lingered on my porch, observing her silhouette gradually disappear into the horizon, I felt a profound sense of transformation within myself, shaped by this journey we shared. Observing Sarah as she faced her past and embraced her future revealed lessons to me that I never anticipated. It brought to mind that we each bear our own weights, yet we need not shoulder them in solitude. At times, confronting the truth can be our greatest challenge. Yet in that moment of honesty, we discover a profound sense of liberation. Ultimately, Sarah's secret was not merely a turning point in her life. It had woven itself into the fabric of my own existence, and for that, I would forever hold a sense of gratitude. Thank you for listening to today's story. See you again in our latest story. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive notifications about the latest stories.